to the Hubscale Podcast. And today I'm joined by Neha Garg, co-founder and CEO of Arambh Labs. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on this podcast, Jack.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Great to have you. Yeah, well, I guess to start, it'd be good just to, get a bit of a background about your experience and, the kind of background behind building the business.
Yeah, sure. I'm Neha Garg. I'm the founder CEO of Arambh Labs. We started Arambh Labs early 2025. Before that, I started out as an engineer, so very geeky by nature. Came here to the US to do my MBA and did consulting for a couple of years. Realized it's not for me. I'm a builder by heart. So I joined LinkedIn and then later, I joined Google, so I was product lead for Google Gemini agentic AI capabilities back in 2024, whatever agentic meant in 2024. And that's when I could see what the future of agentic applications looks like and how it is going to change and evolve every industry. And so I took a bet on myself and left my job at Google to start this venture, Arambh Labs, with my co-founder. My co-founder also has a very impressive set of credentials. She has over 15 years of cybersecurity experience. Um, she was a founding member of Cybersponse, which was like a SOAR platform that got acquired by Fortinet, and then she led on to was leading uh, security architecture for SOAR platforms at Fortinet. So she has known the ins and outs of cybersecurity, how has a view on how things would evolve with the agentic AI coming in. So it's her experience and my experience together that we're bringing, um, building this agentic AI platform for detection and response.
Amazing. Cool. And looking back for you, was there particular experiences or frustrations that convinced you there was a company worth building or a problem worth solving, I guess?
Yeah, couple, right? So when I was at Google, I saw that with agents coming in into your stack, the whole entire stack needs to be rethought from grounds up because these agents will have its own thinking loop, will be self-improving, will have its own memory. So it you cannot just bolt in AI on the top of existing solution. Like it you can, but like you will only leverage maybe like 5% or 10% of the actual value of AI. If you have to really leverage the capabilities of AI into your ecosystem, then you have to really think about, okay, how can you even not have anything upfront? How can agents be the planning section of your thing? How can they be self-improving as they grow with your organizations? And so with that context we got in. But also like from the security perspective, the major points that we were seeing were um, currently, like the thesis that where we started was we were with rapid advancement on AI side. As with any technology, we see that attackers are the first ones to get access and really leverage those kind of technology. And so the thesis was in that AI and AI versus AI world, what that effective AI defense system could look like within your organization, right? And how can you start thinking about building that system piece by piece, agent by agent, to create that layer, intelligent defense layer within that organization.
Yeah, amazing. And in terms of like the business and the vision behind it at the beginning, and I guess how that's evolved over the last year or so, yeah, I'd love to know a bit more about that and kind of what the vision was, I guess, for the business and longer term.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I talked about a little bit about the business. So the business, the North Star that we started, when we think about like how we solve the problem, we approach it both from the top down and a bottoms up approach. So the top down vision of like where we want to go, or the North Star of where we want to go, is that AI, in that AI versus AI world, what does that effective uh, intelligent defense mechanism looks like, right? From a bottoms up approach, we started looking at what does that mean in terms of current operations, right? Like how people are doing effective detection and response today, and how some of that pieces will start getting automated or improved with agents, right? So if you look at detection engineering today, people have to write like detection rules and test it out and then implement it, and the whole process takes like weeks. And as a result, the detection engineering, like people can enter only might be like 3 or 4 rules in a month, if that's so, right? Versus like if you're imagining a world where there are more AI powered attacks and people are exploiting like more zero day attack, that is a very slow mechanism, right? Like you have to have a more continuous, almost like to an extent real time update of your detection rules and detection logic. So that's the kind of, so we started like breaking down what that current process for detection and response, the response side looks like, and where the agent can help with increasing the velocity of detection or velocity of response, help improve the volume of the that they can handle, and the complexity. So it's on the three scales: volume, complexity, volume, like time and complexity. Yeah, and that's where the agents are coming in and helping on doing with faster, creating faster detection rules, helping create faster remediation as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And it's quite. We spoke about it earlier, but in terms of agentic security operations or AI SOC, it's becoming one of the most discussed areas in security right now. How would you define that? Like, how would you define that space as a whole? Because it's quite broadly used these days.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the whole concept of AI SOC is also evolved, like back from 2023, 2020, early 2024 is when people had started thinking about this space. Earlier, like if you look at the early vendors in the space, they were mostly talking about uh, alert triaging and reducing the load of L1 analysts. Um, Now with more AI, we are seeing that AI powered attacks are not just uh, not just theoretical, they're actually in application. You can see them. We're seeing that this space is also like the newer vendors in this space are also picking up that and seeing how we can. It is not just about reducing the load of L1 analysts. It is about velocity at which you can triage these alerts. It is about velocity at which you can add new detection rules or keep your detection rules updated in your system. So I think the problem statement as itself is changing as we are, moving into this world. So even though I think there are maybe like 100 plus vendors in this AI SOC place, I think we almost it is almost like a continuum scale on which you need to map the capabilities of different vendors for different type of attack and the different velocity of attacks that they can help with. um so yeah.
Um, yeah, it's so interesting how many businesses are out there and how they're kind of trying to differentiate, I suppose.
Yeah, or
How
like some kind of a maturity curve, right? Like, so there is no uniform definition of how would you even measure these AI SOC vendors, right? How should you evaluate it? If I can go ahead and automate just one tiny use case in AI SOC, people are calling themselves also AI SOC vendors, but that doesn't, if you're not covering 99% of the use cases, is it really a good solution? So having, some concept of what are the coverage of what is the coverage for your solution, what is the accuracy of those solutions, how fast are you able to do that, right? How fast you can adapt to the new kind of attacks in the environment. So those are the kind of things that would really help like a serious player differentiate from the others, the
Yeah,
space.
yeah, true. And I guess, yeah, how much do you think branding and marketing comes into this now? Because as we say, there's certain players in the AI SOC space that have great branding and marketing, which has helped them get the name out there. Yeah, how important do you think that is in reality, like beyond the product?
Yeah, I think branding and marketing definitely is important in cybersecurity overall, because there's just so many vendors. If you look at every market map, you will see so many vendors in each space. And so to be able to differentiate yourselves from the crowd, it have being able to have a memorable name that people can recall after they have had the first conversation with you or have seen you somewhere, I think is super, super important. Um, and I will be honest, we have probably not done a very good job with our branding and marketing. Uh, but my thesis on that is whatever branding and marketing you do, it should feel natural. It should feel like aligned with what your company's values and what you want to stand up for. And uh, and I see like a lot of people also trying to just copy paste some of the other successful ones. So how can you um, differentiate that? That's something I think a lot about. um, I don't know. There was like a concept of purple cow. I don't know if you know about that. Like in advertising, there was a concept of purple cow. Like, how do you, in the world where all the cows are white and black and maybe like gray or brown, how do you create that purple cow to stand out? And that's how I think about, marketing and creating the brand image in general,
Yeah,
to be distinguished. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like from you, in your opinion, is there any part of security operations teams that shouldn't be automated ever? If any,
Should be automated or should not be automated?
is there any parts of that shouldn't be, in your opinion?
Shouldn't be automated.
Mm.
um yeah, there is a lot of human judgment, that needs to happen, especially where the models are currently, right? Like, I don't think you can automate end to end a lot of things, right? Like, even today, like when we are designing our remediation actions or response actions, right, all of them are depending on the maturity of the company, all of them have a human in the loop component, so that the human can approve those actions before we take them. I think as A, with models improving, and B, with companies getting more confidence in the AI SOC space, then yes, there would be some containment actions that you can automate. For example, like isolate this endpoint, or block this IP on the firewall. But there would be still like actions which might have implications on an organization level, so like bringing down this server, right, or things like those, that I think would still need to have some kind of a human judgment involved before you take those high stake actions. Similarly, I think any new on the detection side, like any new detection logic that you are introducing, um, you can have the agents do all the heavy lifting of creating and tuning that detection logic for your environment. But I think a human, for now at least, a human approval is needed before you deploy them into your system at scale.
Yeah, nice. And in terms of like the challenges that you guys have faced so far, taking this, vision into a business, what are the main kind of challenges that you think you faced that, or maybe things that you would have done differently, doing it in hindsight?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like on the challenges side, like GTM is a hard challenge, right? Like, especially um given that how crowded this market has become. How do you continue to differentiate yourself and build a story on yourself? So that is, I think, one challenge, which not just us, like I talked to so many other founders in this space, and everybody has a challenge on how do you continue to focus and tune in and build out that differentiation story. Thankfully for us, like we recently, one of the Gartner reports, they recognized us as one of the 11 agentic AI companies to watch out for the innovation in our product, and that is also kind of helping us, differentiate ourselves in this crowded space when a lot of buyers are asking, why are you different from ABC? So I think that's something I think we need to continue to work on and build out and scale out. Like as we scale out, like that kind of helps as well. I was talking to one of the repeat founders recently, and like we were discussing this problem. Like there are so many SOC vendors, and it feels like it's very crowded. I think given he had over 20 years of experience like building companies, selling companies, he had two comments. First, um, every market or every space in cybersecurity is crowded right now. So that is also a good sign that the problem is real. Right, and it is worth solving. The second piece of this is if there are so many vendors right in the space, all of them are like mostly within the same revenue range, right? Like ARR range. So
Mm.
that means the market has not consolidated. So to declare that any player is a winner in the space is foolish at this stage. Or like it's premature, I would say, not foolish, but
Yeah.
it's premature because there is market has not started consolidating. That means like there's no clear winner. Nobody's technology like is standing out, and this is a year actually we are seeing that there is a this on the enterprise side there is more and more adoption, and people are more and more open to having those conversations about modernizing their SOC operations. So yeah, I think within the next I would say like 6 to 1 year, 6 months to 1 year, we will start seeing like the winners in the market pan out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how long it will take before that happens, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I my view is like maybe like definitely 6 to 1 month, right? Like I think most of the vendors are definitely sub 10 million ARR in range right now. That's my thesis. And the people who will break out would really break out of that 10 million ARR range and start seeing more in the 50 million, 100 million kind of a range.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and you think it's like the recipe to be one of those select few that kind of gets
Yeah.
there is like, obviously technology's got to be strong. What do you think is the recipe to get there? Because there's obviously different elements here. There's the products, and then there's the go-to-market team, which and marketing, branding, and stuff like that. Yeah, in terms of like what you for these select few vendors that get past that sort of 10 million and beyond revenue range, what do you think the recipe will be for those businesses? Like what they've kind of done right in order to get there?
Yeah, I think at this stage it is my view. My view is that it is a race to get more customers to get try a product, to get to buy a product, and those customers become your champion to help you get scale to other organizations. Yeah, I think. Uh, Across all AI native companies, because I'm based out of Silicon Valley and I have like part of those founder communities. I think that is the same thing everybody is has to do. So we have to build out like somebody who's like a decacon or a Sierra of AI SOC, and that would be like the breakout success we're looking for in this space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting how, yeah, as you say, probably you're right, 6 months to a year, I think you'll start seeing that. Yeah. But in terms of like explaining the solution to buyers in a still evolving technology space, what are the kind of struggles in terms of, you know, selling this product to buyers and
Yeah,
in speaking about it?
yeah. Yeah. See, enterprise buyers, I'm a first-time founder, so I would say they say that upfront, right? And we have to build out this relationship by selling to these enterprise customers. So that itself like is a uphill battle for the first-time founders in this space. I think the second piece of that is people are always comparing the solution against the status quo, which is, most of the enterprise customers have some kind of a similar SOAR already in place, and there are human analysts doing the work. And so to be able to tell your story on how, the SIM and the source of the yesteryears are not going to be sufficient in the world where there are going to be more AI powered attacks, is an important part of that, convincing that means the enterprises needs to understand that, like why this matters for them now and how urgently it matters for them. So I think that is the second battle, and the third battle is more around, um, even though, let's say, this is without naming names, like have been multiple CISOs who have told me like, I can appreciate, like, let's say your product is 100 operating at 100%, and there are big players who are also building a solution, who are tacking on, right, like attaching just AI on top of their existing solution, but their solution might be at 10% of the capabilities that you have. But when a CISO at a Fortune 500 company is making the decision on whether to take a bet on a new and upcoming startup versus a well-known name in the space, like how do they make that decision, and how do you make sure that they can still take a bet on you? So that's the third thing. I think we have to really convince the CISOs on to be able to partner with us.
Yeah, yeah. And in terms of like broader security, or what kind of challenges do you feel like these security leaders and CISOs are facing now that didn't exist sort of 2, 3 years ago?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think there are two in my mind, and that is helping us shape our roadmap as well. So the first piece is we have already talked about, like there are more AI-powered attacks that are coming, right? Especially our post-Mythos, we are expecting there would be more zero-day attacks coming in, and how do you make sure that within your organizations you can find if you've been impacted by those in like within minutes of these zero-day attacks being published, right? So that's one piece of like how do you guard against these AI-powered attacks? And the second piece is AI agents internally themselves, right? Like there are more agents coming in within your organization. Everything in your infrastructure would become an AI agent powered infrastructure, right? Or so there are SaaS apps which are now have an agents. There are your developers, there are AI agents, right? Like through Cloud Code or Codex. So and there might be like some homegrown AI agents that your company is building to solve your internal problems or externally, right? And how do you so those agents, you need defense against those agents, and how you need almost like a real time detection and remediation, closed loop remediation of those agents real time. So that is a second net new problem, right? Like it's a runtime. How can you just if an agent is going rogue, how can you A, understand that it is going rogue, and B, like just contain it in that moment, is the second piece. And both of these like new are net new attack vectors, and are both of them are helping inform our roadmap today. Um,
It's scary how quick it's
uh,
all evolving. But
yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Go on, sorry.
What is more scary is people don't even understand the level of exposure that they have, right? If you at least like if you are a fast-moving organizations today, I can guarantee you that all of them have some version of Cloud Code, GitHub Copilot, or Codex, which the software engineers are using on their organizations. But it is so scary to even think that they don't know how, if one of these cloud agents like get compromised, what system they can reach within your organizations. Can they even reach your production database within simple prompting? Most security leaders cannot answer that, and so that kind of blindness to exposure is very, very scary right now. Big unknown.
Yeah, it is definitely. And yeah, is there an area like insecurity now that you think is getting too much investment? It's kind of for the problem that it maybe solves.
uh the problem is already solved and getting too much investment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, where there's kind of overinvestment in the space.
Yeah. uh I don't know if there is. I might not be because I've not looked at it from the investment side of things. I might not be the right person to answer that question. Where there might be over investment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
No, it's yeah, I guess 'cause there's so much, so much money and funding and investment happening, every day you look at these
Yeah.
cybersecurity news things and so yeah, but maybe it's maybe not.
Yeah. I think one of the common questions that we get asked a lot, and that I think all the founders should be asking themselves is what is it that an LLM like these coding agents cannot automate, and what is the code that you can keep right? And if a coding agent can build whatever you're building within a week or 2 week, then the defensible mode becomes very small.
Mm.
So I think that lens is super critical to have when building in this new world. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, and on to sort of hiring and growing the business. I having been in some bigger companies in the past, like from your experience now going into a startup, what do you think makes a great startup hire or a great startup employee rather than just someone who's good or average?
Yeah. I think having that ownership mindset is very, very important in your early employees. So I always say that the early employees are the ones who shape this culture of your organization. It helps define the trajectory of your organizations, and so you have to be very, very careful about who you are hiring as your early employees. Most of our early employees are ex-founders, ex-Google, ex-Amazon, so very ambitious people who understand also from the founders mindset, like what kind of attitude they need to bring in on getting something done. So I think that is super, super, both of those, like having that ambition to go build anything, conquer the world and build the next big thing. I think that is super critical, and having that kind of ownership mindset also is very important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, and in terms of like culture aspects of that and how you like maintaining it now and building that culture and then how you plan to to keep that. What's your thought process behind that?
We are a small, like a 10, less than 10 people team right now. And I
Mm.
think with all these, how much work, we are a very AI native company. So a lot of part of our organizations, the work that we do has been automated with agents. Like whatever we can do with agents, we do with agents from in the go-to-market and marketing, even in the engineering side. So that's why we feel like even though we are so small, we have a lot of impact, right? Like we're working with some of the big Fortune 500 companies. One of the big four is our customer. We have, some of the biggest GSIs that who are our partners as well. And we are able to do that mainly because how well we are maintaining this team of humans and agents to do this work at scale. Um, for humans, I believe it is very, very important to have that, culture where um, I believe like the early members of my team are like my family, and I want to understand them, like the human behind the role, right? And get to know them better, get to know their life story, what motivates them, what are the day-to-day problems that they have, not professionally but also like personally, and which might make them like I might want to have them step away or like take a break, right? So what that looks like, what takes them. So having that kind of yeah, bonding with the team is very important.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, that sounds like a nice place, nice place to be a part of, and also congratulations on some of the customers and partners you're working with. That's really impressive. Um, so for the next year, I guess next year to 18 months, what are you focused on building with the business? What's the plan, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, I think scaling on the GTM side is one of the biggest things that we have to focus on this year. So that's one thing, and being able to break out of that 100 mil ARR to 20 mil or so for
Mm.
ARR. So that's a big plan that we have for one next year. And second, on the product side, we are actively investing on the agent detection and response piece with the agents coming in your platform, like how, in your system, how do you actively defend against those and contain any rogue agents in your environment? So with that, I think the combination of those two, we hope to be able to have like some good growth.
Yeah, yeah, okay, lovely. And for you, like from the lessons that you've learned in your career, what would be your advice to people that maybe aspiring founders and yeah, people kind of looking to do a similar sort of thing?
Yeah. So very interesting fact about our startup, Arambh Labs, is we are two female founders building in cybersecurity, which is uh, by itself is an outlier because that is not the usual combination
Mm.
um, uh, that you see of founders in cybersecurity. So I would say like for the women female founders who are sitting on the edge thinking if they should go ahead and build it, I would say like just go ahead and take that first step. It is once you do it, every day will feel there are pieces that you feel that aren't working and the pieces that you will not feel are not working, but just keep going and keep building because um, I think this is not my code, but somebody says like you manufacture your luck by the amount of hustle you do, the amount of chances that you give yourself. So like just go out, do build things, increases your chances of yeah, attracting luck to your way, and you will, with right connections and right support, you will be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I was gonna say it is very rare and it's like a topic of conversation, sort of female leaders in the space and founders as well. So yeah, congratulations on that. Um, and in terms of, look, if you imagine yourself sort of 2 years into the future, what would you like to achieve to then think, okay, this has been super successful. This is where I want to get to. You look back and think that's been a great 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I my ambition is that we are able to scale to 100 plus million ARR in the next 2 to 3 years. Um, be a category defining product in this space, and being recognized by the market as a category defining product. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the Gartner recognition that you mentioned, obviously that I imagine is a highlight for you. Has there been like one main highlight so far in the journey?
We've received few more awards and accolades. We recently were recognized earlier this year. We were recognized as one of the 100 most promising startups by Silicon India as well. And we recently won some pan IIT. We both of us are from IIT, so we recently got recognized as pan IIT. Like we won some award there as well. Uh, so I think those are. Good awards, but like the Gartner recognition helps with enterprise conversations because a lot of these enterprise CISOs and security leaders are reading these kind of reports, and the Gartner review matters a lot. And so that's where I think it has more impact.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, we're getting towards the ends now. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or any other points you'd like to make?
Uh, no, I think I would just say like yeah, for everybody around me, I talk to so many folks in Silicon Valley, and everybody is going through, a time where they are figuring out what does this AI transition means for them, people who are in regular jobs, people who are founders, and the pace of, change feels very fast for everybody. But so it can feel scary at times. My like just one message for everybody would be like just keep at it, keep building, keep learning. You will. will come out strong at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time. And yeah, it's been super interesting to hear your insights. I'm sure the viewers of this and the community will enjoy watching. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack, for having me.